Hello, welcome. Welcome to Monday with Pat. I've been trying to think of some way to describe myself. Um, Monday afternoon, live with Pat. Yep, tells me that I am now live. All right. So, good afternoon. Hop on, say hi. Let me know where you're from if this is your first time watching. And if you are watching this on the replay on YouTube, please be sure to comment, tell me where you're from, and be sure to hit the subscribe button when you're done watching. And I hope you like what you see. So let's see. I'll wait a minute to make sure that we're. Let's see. I think I've got all the buttons pushed correctly. So we'll see who's here. So while I'm waiting, I will talk about the weather. It is 60 degrees outside. I just went upstairs and talked to my good friend Alexa, because she tells me everything I need to know. And she said it was 60 degrees outside and the sun is shining. The house across the street from me has no snow on the yard. I face north, so I've still got a lot of snow out there. So that's the deal. It is nice and sunshiny. I'm not quite so sure how long it's going to last, but we'll certainly take it while we can. I know all the snow is off of my deck, and that's a good sign too. So hi Carol, hi Fran, welcome and thank you. So let's get started. I'm going to change things up a little bit today. And let me flip you down to my desk and show you what I've got here. This is the next to the last week for our Sale-a-Bration offerings, where you can get something for free with a $50 or a $100 purchase. And those are awesome. I'm going to miss a lot of the things that are in here, especially the papers that I've been using so much. And so I'll finish up with that next week. Hi, Gloria, welcome. So that's Sale-a-Bration, but what am I showing you today? I am going to show you something from the Sale-a-Bration catalog. And let me show you that first so you can see what I'm going to feature. And it's the Friendly Hello stamp set, along with the paper, which is 12 by 12. I've been cutting my papers to 4 by 6 and putting them in these nice little photo holders. And I find that I am using my paper more and using it up. So actually there's been quite a dent made in this. So we will be using that today. But the product that I'm showing is our Soft Pastels Assortment. When this was released at the last year's annual catalog in May, I was so excited. I don't know why I haven't shown it earlier on a Facebook Live, but I just haven't for whatever reason. But I do want to feature and focus on this particular product. It is, it's chalk, but it's also, from what I understand, a pigment base. Very dense, very hard, but I'm going to make it so that it's also like chalk dusty, if you want to say that. I think it's one of the best coloring products that we have in the catalog, and you can find it in the annual catalog on page 126. And let's get my little sticky note here. And it's down here at the bottom, probably something that might be overlooked, along with our assortments and bundles of products, our markers, and watercolor pencils. And when we carried these before, they came in a flat little container with about, I think, 20 or 30, I don't even remember, it's been so long ago, little 1-inch squares of all different colors of chalk. And they were not Stampin' Up! Exclusive colors at that time, but these are. So if you have an idea to look in your catalog, take a look at that. So I will show you. Let me grab a piece of paper here. I will show you what they are. They come in this nice little package in a foam container so that they're not likely to break very easily unless you would drop them. So we have, I'll show you this first, Daffodil Delight. Let me zoom in. There we go. We've got Daffodil Delight, Mango Melody. So we pretty much have colors of the rainbow here. If that would be our yellow and orange. These aren't in rainbow color necessarily. Poppy Parade. Gorgeous Grape. So you can see, if you look close, the chalk dust that it's creating, but I'm going to create more. This is Mossy Meadow. Coastal Cabana. I hope I got a big enough piece of paper here. I think I do. Granny Apple Green. And this is Night of Navy, although it looks more like the royal blue, which is like our Pacific Point, but it is the darkest blue that we have in that. So you do want to wipe off your fingers because it is chalk, and blow that away. But there we have these beautiful, beautiful colors. So let me blow that chalk dust away and show you what I'm going to do today. I think I mentioned I'm going to change things up a little bit and show you 4 different ways of using this product, but I already have the cards created. So I will show you how to do it and then say, here's the card. So let's see if I can make that happen. So it's a little bit different for me. And the first way I'm going to show you is just using the chalks on with some chalk dust. So let's put it that way. And if you have a take a pick tool, you could use some scissors, you could use a craft knife. You want some kind of sharp edge. Let me zoom out again a little bit. But the one end of the take a pick tool is the pokey tool, and all that does is just twist in there. And then the other end is a spatula tool, which is great for picking up gems and putting things on your project. So you can also use this to scrape off the chalk. So I'm only going to use a couple colors here with the blue. And what you do is just scrape that on there. And you can put this on one of our silicone pads. You can put it on in this case, I'm using one of our acrylic blocks. And let's see, I'm going to use a little bit of Granny Apple Green. I don't need much of that for this one. And some Poppy Parade. And it's so nice and easy just to put those right back in the little container, and they're ready for the next project. So let's grab a, let's see, where'd it go? I've cut out a number of labels from the Hippo and Friends set of dies. These are so much fun to work with. I know that people have bought them just for the labels. Let me show you just all the labels you get with this set of dies, in addition to the little hippos, which I haven't used yet, but I think I probably will because I have the stamp set for that new little baby that is in the family. So, but I use it primarily because of these labels. So I've got the largest of that one, and I'm going to stamp from the Friendly Hello stamp set, this bird image, the bird and the flowers. And I'm just going to stamp that in Memento. Memento black. And kind of a little bit higher on the label. I guess I can't talk when I'm inking up here. And then I'm going to take a handy dandy Q-tip. We've all got Q-tips hanging around probably in the bathroom. Well, bring them to your craft table. They're so handy. And then just take the edge of your Q-tip and start coloring. And that is the easy part. And if you go outside the line, it's okay. The other set that we used to carry had a little chalk eraser in it, and I don't believe I saved one of those from that before I probably sold those. And have some handy tissues. I will use tissues here to wipe things off. And then you can intensify that and make it a little bit darker on the wings. Okay, now I can use the other end to add some green to the little leaves. And the stems. Maybe I can zoom in a little bit. Ooh, that's a lot of zoom. Okay, so that's what I have so far. And I think there are Q-tips out there that have little pointed ends on them. But I don't have any of those. I'll have to go look for those when I go to the store next. And then we'll finish off with, I need another Q-tip here, with some Poppy Parade in the flower image. Now I left enough room at the bottom for a sentiment, which I'll show you on the finished card. And that's all that needs. I mean, that's the easiest and probably most common use of the chalks. You get a nice, soft, blended color. You can make it a little bit darker in the center if you like. I could add some more color here, but that is that. And let me show you the finished card. Now I need to zoom back out again. Okay, this is the finished card where I've used some of the designer paper. I'm kind of taken with this black and white gingham ribbon. I love it. So I've used it on several projects. I stamped the word hello and masked off the word friend. So I took that away. So I just wanted to say hello. And actually that's all I really had room for. So I masked it off and I actually put it on the Stamparatus. And then added a few little, the brushed brass butterflies. That's the one that you have to say 3 times and you'll be a little bit crazy. And then on the inside, I had a strip of the paper left and put a piece of basic white on the inside. So there is that completed card. Now the next one, and normally I would probably use more of this, but for purposes of today's demonstration, I'm just going to wipe that off of my block so I can show you the next technique. This one is probably my favorite. I love, love, love this. And I'm going to, once again, use one of these labels. And let's see, I'm going to use this little leafy image from the Friendly Hello stamp set and a Versamark pad. This is a technique that back in the day we called poppin' pastels. Poppin' pastels. So wait till you see this. If you remember back then, or you were crafting back then, you might remember that. So I will start this. You won't be able to see what I'm stamping. And this is my ugly Versamark pad versus one that I have that is like crystal clear white. As long as you keep it re-inked and it's got sticky on it, you're going to be able to do what you need to do. So I'm going to start in the center. And I can see it, but you can't. I'll show it up to the camera. And I'm just going to randomly then go around the edge, moving the stamp so I get some of the end of it and some of the front of it. So I don't know if you can see any of that. Let's get here in the camera. You probably can't. Maybe a little image of it. And I'm going to start off with, let's see, I'm going to scrape some Granny Apple Green again. So I'll start with that. And then I'll do some magic with the next part. So for this, I'm going to take a sponge dauber. And I don't recommend using one of the blender brushes like we have, because you're not going to get your ink out of this. Even though this isn't really an ink, it's going to get down into there. So I would stick with using sponge daubers or a sponge, and you could actually use the Q-tip again with this technique as well. But what I'm going to do is just tap into that and then tap all over, and I'll zoom again, maybe you can see that a little bit better. Tap all over, and now they're popping up. And it doesn't look real good yet, just wait. and just tap, 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 and it pops. And then I'm just going to blow off the excess powder. So when I did this earlier today, I thought, I don't want more green, but it needs something else. So I'm just going to wipe that surface chalk dust off on my little towel over here and scrape off some Coastal Cabana. And do the same thing. Use the Versamark to just stamp some more images, whether or not they're over top the other ones, which now have the green on there, the Granny Apple Green. So it doesn't matter if these go over top anything else. I can't even see exactly where I've stamped. So I might have to add some more as I do this next little step. And now I'm going to take that sponge dauber and tap the Coastal Cabana over top of that. So the other has already picked up the green. This is picking up the new Versamark images on there. And those two colors look so nice together. I guess I didn't really realize that. Let's blow some of that off of there. Yes, we need another one here. So I'm just kind of going all around. And I think the fact that it's on this pretty little label really helps too. All right. Get all that dust off of there and use it all up. Let's blow that off, and I'm going to take a tissue and kind of rub that off a little bit. So some of the colors get blended. Let's see, that one didn't get popped enough. So everyone will be different, but I thought it even needed a little bit more of something. So there's a cute little spatter stamp in this stamp set. So I'm going to take that Memento Black and just add some little spatters. Every stamp set should have a splatter stamp because it will cover up mistakes. And in this case, there's no mistake, but it just really, I think, adds a lot because I've used on the finished card that black and white gingham ribbon. So there we go. It's just a focal point on a card. Let me show you the finished card. And just a little high from me. And this comes from another Sale-a-Bration set that has all the sentiments in the back. And then I've used the gingham ribbon. And on this card, this is a little bit different. instead of using the entire piece of Coastal Cabana as my card base, I used it as a base, but only a quarter of the sheet. And I cut down the panel of basic white to be, what does this come to then? 8, more like 8 1/8, I guess, by 5 1/4. So I still get that. So it kind of conserves the paper a little bit because the colored paper is a little bit more expensive. And I still have an A2 card that will fit in a standard envelope. And then wrap that cute little gingham ribbon around there. Just love it. So that is number 2. Now, number 3. Is even more amazing, if that can happen to be. And I'm going to take the floral image and I'm going to just stamp this randomly on a piece of, I think this is 4 by 4. Yes. Let's see here. There we go. And a little bit there. And a little bit here. And for this one, I'm going to go ahead and scrape some of this chalk dust off again too, but I'll show you that you can put water right on these, but I would rather do it this way. So I'm going to use some of the Gorgeous Grape. And you just move that around. And it pretty much stays the same. We've got some Coastal Cabana here. And a little bit of Daffodil Delight. And some Poppy Parade. And get that off my fingers. And now I'm going to bring in the water painters. The water painters, we've had aqua painters before. Aqua and water is the same, but this is just a new design that also was new in last year's catalog. And there's a small pointed end, a medium, and then a brush end to use for like watercolor wash. I am going to use the small pointed tip for this because these are rather small images. And I've already filled them with water. Tells you where to push to get the water. The funniest thing about these is to release the cap, you go in the opposite direction of what we do here in the United States. So that's the weird part. That took a little bit of a figuring out, like, okay, it's not going to go that way to turn it off or to twist that off to get the water in it. It goes the opposite direction. So there's the water reservoir. Then put this back in, and we're going to paint with these. So there's a place where it says push, and I'm going to push to get some water on there, and push here to get some water on my block, if you can see what I'm doing, and just push that into the water. And I'm going to start in the center and just paint. And I'm using regular basic white cardstock for this, and reality it might be better to use the thick basic white or the shimmery white paper. But I had quite a few 4x4 scraps of basic white in my little scrap bin, and so I wanted to show that you can use regular basic white with this technique. So you just want to pull some more of that color in there. And it's pretty easy to stay inside the lines. So since this has water to activate it, if you go outside the lines, it's not a big deal, because watercoloring does go outside the line. And then I will show you the finished card of this one. Now, to switch colors, you want to, I've got some water here in a little old yogurt pot to make sure that that is out of there. I guess you can't see what I'm doing. Before you switch colors. Because it's not like using a Q-tip where you can just take another end. So I only have one set of these. So there's that. Let's go to the Coastal Cabana and squeeze some water there. And so I probably will not finish this one. I'll show you the completed card here in a minute. Let's use this one. I hadn't pulled in a lot of the chalk into that, and I think it is muddied a little bit with the Gorgeous Grape, but it still looks pretty. I'm going to leave the white edges on that a little bit more. Let's grab that. So that's what we've got so far. And I'll do one more color. Let's clean that out. And then I hope you stick around to watch the last little technique. And let's go to the red, the Poppy Parade. And come over here in the corner. Okay, let's add some more. Ooh, that's a lot of red there. All right, so I've got the three main colors. I did not pick up the yellow yet, which I might do around the edge, but let me show you the completed card. And this dries rather quickly. So let me clean up my mess here first. Take care of those brushes. Are y'all still with me? I see that. All right. So I'll put those away and turn this over. I'll probably get another block to show the next one. But this is the completed card with the ones that have been painted. And I made a little like a book fold card out of this one and added a scrap of paper on the inside. And again, use that cute little gingham ribbon. But this part at the end is glued shut so that it opens that way. And again, using the Coastal Cabana stamp, comes from the Friendly Hello stamp set. And then I added some black matte dots. And on this one, I think you can see where I did start and get some darker color in the center and added some yellow to the centers of the flowers. So that's number 3. And let's wipe this off and get ready for the next one. Oh, seems like I'm wasting that, but really there's so much with this that for demonstration purposes, I think it's just fine. All right, for the next one, I'm going to use the Stamparatus. And you will see why in a minute. And I'm using a stamp set called Butterfly Brilliance. And this was last year's early release product. And it is a whole bunch of butterflies. And they're beautiful butterflies. And there is a die that matches this that will cut it out. Cut out those individual butterflies. But I'm going to show you a really cool technique today with this. So let's make sure I'm in camera range here. And get some of these other stamps out of the way because I don't need them yet. Or I guess I don't need them at all anymore. And I have a piece of, what's this one? About 5 by 4 1/4, and which I'm going to cut down then for the final card. And somewhere along the line, I've lost a magnet. It got picked up on something else. Oh, there it is. Duh. Magnet's not lost. It was actually, it got connected with that die set. And I thought one flipped off. So let's do this. And a little bit more up here to get that out of the way. All right, with this technique, the Stamparatus is almost necessary to make it happen. Thank you, Carol. All right, so there we go. So it's not even going to cover the entire stamp on that paper, but I'm going to start with using a very light color. And let's grab this little grid paper here. And let's see, let's put if you put a stamp set under the acrylic here, then you can press down on that and it's just the right size. So I'm going to use, for right now, gray granite, which is a very light color. All right. And I want to stamp that off, meaning I want to get some of that ink off of there. So actually, I'm going to put that over my paper and stamp that down to get that first generation of ink off of there. So you can see how pretty that is. And then what's left is going to go on here. Just enough to give me a light enough image. And that's still plenty dark so that I can see what's going on. All right, so now let's get some color going. And I'm going to scrape off some, let's see, I don't need that Versamark. Scrape some of these colors. Let's use, haven't used too much Mossy Meadow. And some, let's see, we need, I haven't used the Mango Melody at all. Let's use that. A little bit of orange, think butterfly colors. And let's put some blue over here. And I'll be using the Q-tips again. And let's see, a little bit of red. Poppy Parade. Now, when I start this, it's going to look kind of ugly. But you'll get the idea, I think. All right, so I'm just going to start with some of the orange here, the Mango Melody, and just fill in. I was trying to remember what the name of this technique is, and I cannot for the life of me remember. We used to do this with Lovely as a Tree, if you remember Lovely as a Tree. And long before the Stamparatus came around, we would use the Stamp-A-Majig to make this happen. So raise your hand if you remember that. Let's see, so I'm trying to use the same color all at once on all the butterflies before I go to another one. Okay, I got into the red here, so let's add some red here. All right, and let's flip this over and get into the Coastal Cabana, add some of this here. Oh, this little guy doesn't have anything yet. Let's give him some color. And okay, I'm purposely not putting anything on any of the bodies because I'm going to do the body with a blender pen. And let's put some of this here. And there's just a little bit down here, so I'll go ahead and give him some color there. And some of this here. And let's see. He's going to get some more of that. So it's not looking really very good. We need some purple here. Let's put a lot of purple up here. Soon we'll be seeing the butterflies. Okay, well, he's kind of uneven, but let's see. Let's put some purple up on this one up here. You can be as detailed on this as you like. Let's see. Let's put some red here. And some more purple here. Not used the blue yet. I gotta come back and use some of the blue. And grab another Q-tip. Okay, so let's get some blue. This guy needs some color. Let's put some here, here, along the edge, and maybe fill in with some purple here. All right, I think I've got everything colored. Now I don't want to move the paper, but that's what it looks like right now. It looks like a child's coloring. There we go. And blow off some of that chalk dust. And then I've got the light gray Granite Blender Pen to color in. Let's see, I want the bullet end on this to color in the body. All right, almost done. Now, this is when the magic happens. Okay, because that was a lighter color to begin with, I don't need to really clean this off to add the darker color. And I'm going to now come back in with my Memento black ink. This did not move or go anywhere. And that's the magic of the stamp positioning, the stamp apparatus. And if this isn't dark enough the first time, I can come back and do it again. So use the heel of my hand. And look how those colors just pop. Let's add some more color. Or not more color, excuse me, more black. And it just makes it pop even more. The more you go over it, the more brilliant it looks, and that really made a difference. So just for good measure, I'm going to do it a third time. All right. Oops. Let's get that out of there. So that is the finished. It's not finished, but you can see what is done. And then I do have this little eraser. It's really not very good for this, but it can get some of that edge part out. And I can always take my tissue to run across that. But look what that does and makes that just pop with those random colors on there. And then again, I could take that little speckle stamp and fill in with that, which is what I've done on this little mini card. And this was the finished result. And this is just a little 4x4 card that can be popped in an envelope, tell somebody you're thinking of them, and it's good to go. Wink of Stella would be very good on this too. Let me see, I think I've got a Wink of Stella here, and see how that interacts with the chalks. It does intensify the color. And Wink of Stella is always a good thing to have. So, yeah, there's a little bit on there. I don't think I really squeezed that very much. So, this is what we got today by showing 4 different techniques. So, there's that one. Here's this one, which I didn't actually finish the painting part of it yet, but there's the finished card. Here is this finished card with that technique. This was the Pop and Pastels, where it pops off with Versamark. Hi, Sue. You're welcome. Thank you. And last but not least is the simple one with just chalk dust on there with a Q-tip or a sponge dauber. The Q-tip works good with this. And the hello and some little gems. So I know it's a little bit longer today, but there was so much that I wanted to show because I put off showing this. So we're almost 55 minutes. So thanks for hanging in, everybody, and have a great rest of the week. And enjoy the good weather while you can, because I think it's going to get cold again. So thank you so much. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.